something went on here, something went on there. And
This time on TNT,
It's our Canada Day Spectacular.
we play a new game, Lake or Fake.
And we invent our own beer sponsor. It's all coming up right now on TNT.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land. True patriot love in all thy sons' command.
Just jamming on it.
With growing
hearts.
we see thee rise, the true and strong and free.
It's like if Sinatra never heard it. How would he sing it?
Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
It's not a hymn.
From far
Whoa,
and
he's just
wide,
Didn't see that key
riffing.
change coming.
Canada, we
Just
stand
riffing.
on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free.
Oh,
Canada,
that's enough.
Wow.
Oh, it goes into O Tannenbaum.
You turned me onto this. This is a guy in Vegas singing
Yeah.
"O Canada" at what appears to be a football game.
Yeah.
And we thought we would play a game called No Canada to start our Canada Day Spectacular, but now I have a bad taste in my mouth.
I know.
That Fabio-looking mask riffing in and out of the melody waves. You can't do that, bud.
How about this one?
Was that the map that fell?
Yeah, the poor Mav.
It's pretty great, though. He had a good
It
sense
is.
of humor about it.
He
That
saves it.
Zamfir-looking mask fell over the carpet. Hey, how about this version of "O Canada"? This is before Habs Lightning game. Topical and
Okay.
timely. He's 5 seconds in and it's already pooched. He's lost confidence. But maybe the all-time worst version, according to social media anyway, was Nelly Furtado at the NBA All-Star Game. Take a listen. We talked about it at the time. Here
Oh,
it is
that's a
again in case you've
classic.
forgotten.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in
Just riffing again.
songs command.
Now, Nelly's thing has always been that she's pitchy, right? She can't deliver live. I buy a slightly slowed down version of "O Canada" with pan flute or whatever it was to give a shout out to
Zamfir.
our First Nations friends.
Yeah.
But it's just like pitchy and different. You can't do both.
How about this one from spring training game at a Jays game a couple years back here?
Let's hear it. What a mess.
He just kind of was his way out of it. Try.
Like vibrato, trying to pour syrup over
just-
poo bod.
He just stops.
I mean, I can see how if you're singing the anthem, you could get inside your own head and suddenly be like, "Oh, what is the next word?" It's
Yeah.
like on the Star Spangled Banner when people go for the octave and don't quite make it.
So it's Canada Day, bud.
Happy Canada Day, bot.
Happy Canada Day.
Just to set the scene, I'm in the Airstream on set at Mr. D. It's lunchtime, and if there's a buzz in the background, it's because at Best Buy a couple years ago, I bought one of those Marshall Stack bar fridges.
Oh, yeah, and they hum like a moth.
I think the thing is, anytime you get a hybrid, like a spork, it doesn't quite work as a spoon, and it's not the best fork. It's like if you get a Marshall fridge. Not a great fridge. Certainly not a good amp. It kind of does neither very well.
The Coca-Cola phone.
Yeah. Looks cool.
Or the Mickey Mouse.
Or the Sports Illustrated football phone. Or the Pac-Man phone. Looks cool.
Hey, we're rolling back. I'm at home here. Kids are off. School's out.
School's out for summer.
It's all happening. The kids are being nice downstairs. They're being quiet.
Well, I know I won't have Henry barking. That's the one upside.
No Henry. No, but we got some good jams from 1978 queued up. You want to hear one of the first classic?
Yes.
And this is actually probably, remember how you always say, like, 70s just don't really do it for me? 78 is like a great example of why. And
the 70s are awesome? All right, coming around.
That they're not awesome. That it's like, I feel you, kind of.
Okay, hit me. What's the first jam? Chuck Mangione. Feels so good. It's a great jam.
This is another technical difficulties math jam.
Yeah, it sure was.
It was like CTV or something.
This is a tsunami warning.
Tsunami warning. Oh, it's always Lloyd Robertson, like the mic falls and then they cut to this.
I went to see Chuck Mangione at the Rebecca Cohen Auditorium in Halifax, and all night long I was just waiting for this jam.
Yeah, of course.
And then you hear it, and then you realize you're halfway through the show, and now what?
Oh, yeah.
This is
big time.
This is how we do it. You got to play it twice for the people.
They didn't do it. And it's not to mention, it's like a 4-minute intro before this.
Okay, guys, prochaine sur le stage.
Summer picnic, popular girl. They went to an outdoor, like the Chin picnic or something to try and boost sales at the club.
Prochaine sur le stage, Sarah McCaughlin.
They have a tent outside, one of the summertime picnic.
Aww. Did you ever know any masks that ran for Miss Chin Picnic?
No, I didn't. But that was a staple growing up. The classic Toronto throwing the frisbee masks.
Okay, guys, bienvenue à Chin Picnic.
Remember, and then was it the Lombardi guy that was always do the classic, like on the mic, talking up all the girls,
like Johnny Lombardi. Someone's been doing squats.
Miss Chin Picnic, 1985.
What a sin. Miss Chin Picnic.
How about this one for 78 Jam?
Dan Hill.
Danny.
Upon my reply, I'd rather hurt you honestly than mislead you with lies. Who am I to judge you? I'm sorry, this Math can sing.
This is when Gordy threw this one by Bernie.
And Gord would be like, I mean, it's a bit cheesy, Bernie. Like, just because you're writing a love song doesn't mean you have to go all soft.
Hey, did you see that email?
Yes!
From the guy from Aurelia?
Holy cow, I feel like we should read it in full.
Best intel ever.
I think
and we won't give away the guy's name.
No, but can I read it?
Yes.
This is unbelievable intel from a gentleman who grew up in Aurelia. We won't give away his name. His name is Kay.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, first and foremost, I discovered the podcast a few months ago and it's become a staple of my listening week. Awesome. I grew up in Gord's hometown of Aurelia. Can you turn off sometimes when we touch?
Yeah,
it's the weirdest soundtrack to this.
It is not working.
I grew up in Gord's hometown of Aurelia, birth through 18. My folks still live there. According to local lore, the real Sundown lived on my street when I was a kid. For reference,
Yeah.
I'm now 40. According to my parents and their friends, the real Sundown was a gentleman named PD,
Yeah.
who I'm told would have been best described as a large 60s, 70s era dealer.
Classic.
As per the lyrics, Sundown, this gentleman had a thing for or with Mrs. Lightfoot. In his later days, late 80s and such, he lived a few doors down from this guy's childhood home on Lake Couchiching. And even though Sundown had retired, anytime there was a fishing derby or a holiday on the lake, there always seemed to be a flotilla of fishermen, tourists, or water skiers, likely undercover police, this guy's father would always say, in front of this guy's house. I live and work in Toronto now, and interestingly enough, Gord works out at my gym.
That's
While I've had the Mr. Lightfoot, my name is such and such, and I'm from Aurelia, etc., awkward conversation, I have yet to have the guts to ask this guy if the story is true as my parents and their friends tell it.
Wow.
He's careful to say, please don't take this as gospel or attribute the
Yeah.
story publicly to me, as I have no formal proof, fair enough, but it's something that I heard definitely more than once while growing up. That's unbelievable intel.
I really
And I
think
hope it's
that's
okay, because
special
we didn't sell them down the river, but
No.
we had to share that with the buds, because that is
And we-
great.
We do love getting those emails. We don't mention it much, but we get a lot of them every week, and we go through them. It is us. We check it out. It's only us, but it's Taggart and Torrens at gmail.com. It's on
Yeah.
our Twitter site. Always send in thoughts. The how's it going? All
Free
the
on
stuff that happens.
Kijijis.
Free on Kijijis, whatever you like.
And speaking
And,
of Gmail, we're thinking of our buddy Mac this week. His brother Mitch sent us a letter, and maybe we'll
Yeah.
dedicate this episode to Mac, because he was a bot.
Absolutely. Yes.
So let's talk about and we'll get back to 78 Jams in a second, but the 23 minutes that shook the NHL that happened just yesterday. How do you feel about Hall for Larson, first of all, Edmonton and
Well,
New Jersey?
I think that, I mean, if that's all it is, then that's insanity and complete madness. But I'm assuming there'll be a back end to it. Something else, like your Lucic conversation or whatever else.
I assume so, and I assume by the time this potty comes out, it may even be done. They just can't
Yeah.
formally sign anyone until July 1st.
But it's still, at this point, it's not looking so good for Chiarelli.
But all I could think was, once the Subban-Weber thing went down,
Yeah.
if Subban was really on the table, why wouldn't we have done Hall for Subban?
Yeah.
Like,
Or
as a friend of mine
whatever
pointed
else.
out, Hall for Larson and in brackets Lucic, that's
Yeah.
easier to swallow suddenly than straight Hall for Larson. Unless
I don't know. Yeah.
Hall
you know
was
what?
a real problem in the room.
The Subban thing, I mean, it's just there was always a grind with him and the brass there, and even some people in Quebec just giving him a hard time constantly for no reason, and it was just always happening, and it was just like, you know what, you guys don't deserve this guy,
My
because he'll
fridge
go
is humming
somewhere
like a
else.
mask right now, by the way.
Oh, nice. He'll go
Um,
somewhere. He'll go to Nashville, and he'll thrive now, and he'll actually, become exactly what everybody thought he could become in Montreal. But there was this like weird bullshit that continued around PK.
Well, the pretty
throughout all the
telling
stuff
thing
that he
is the French media loves the deal. They love that
Yeah.
Subban is gone, and they love that Weber's coming in. I mean, in fairness to Weber, he's unbelievable, and
He's incredible.
solid, and he's a great player. There's no question. But Subban is like the face of this generation of hockey, and obviously for the city of Montreal, he spent last year learning French. Like he's
Yeah,
such an
it's-
ambassador beyond the game.
what he did for the community, the $10 million pledge to the hospital, the kids in the hospital. He knew all of the kids. He was developed a relationship with all of those people. Those are the things that you can't put money on. I mean, he did so much for the community, and he'll do the same for Nashville. But it's a real shame that, I guess when you put it all together, I'm sure, Shea Weber is one of the best defensemen in the league.
For sure.
That's not necessarily the issue. It's the leadership, it's the community values, but it's also the fact that PK will come out of his shell, because he was constantly being told to not do everything.
Well, I've been saying for a few years, if we could get Shea Weber in Edmonton, we'd be all set. Like, I obviously think very, very highly of him as a player. But it's too bad, because I think by and large the fans in Montreal really liked PK. And, I mean, hockey players generally are pretty low-key cats. They're not flashy and colorful. I mean, Avery was an exception to that rule. PK is an exception to that rule. Patrick Roy is an exception to that rule, and he was traded.
Yeah.
What other 78 jams you got for us, Bot?
Chelios back in the day. You want another one?
Yeah.
Here's a good one. Here's a classic that'll ring true with the old Canadianity on Canadianity Day. It's like the alternate version of My Way.
It is, isn't it? You just needed me. Laramie, freaking have a slow dance with me, bud. Shake the dust off you. You're gonna go moldy sitting there on the couch eating nachos. Get up. Who cares if we're just in our apartment? It's Canada Day. Let's celebrate.
I don't do that kind of stuff, Andrea.
My uncle invited us out to go for natal day. There's a Kaylee in August, the start of August, back in Britain. Why don't you freaking come with me?
Can't you see I'm looking at new fabric for my new pants, for my stage clothes?
Friggin' care less about your pants, care more about a dance. Get up!
I'm working on this new thing where I have a light bulb and I hold it above my head when I play.
Cause it's like you had some smart idea or something?
It's kind of scary as well as like cool.
I saw a group of women at the airport in Toronto on their way to Kelowna for a bachelorette party. And all of them were done to the nines and wearing, you know, really expensive clothes and had bags and stuff. And I was wondering what it would be like if Andrea was going with those people to some... It's so weird, Laramie. Like, they don't even eat what's on their plate. Like, she would not fit in with those people at all. But that's what makes me love her.
That is a good one.
We need to address our cliffhanger, because Andrew's got a ball in the oven.
I think it'd be good if she was, like, out with Laramie late and got really banged up and then ended up at Sneaky D's. But then, like, on the way home after Sneaky D's, like, at the blackout periods, you like picked up a bag of Pride bagels, you know, those rainbow bagels, and crushed them all, but then like forgot, and in the morning she's like, she comes running out of the bathroom thinking she's gonna die.
Aww.
That's all.
Laramie, I have the weirdest cravings for like Big 8 and egg rolls.
She goes to the bathroom and it's like all tie-dye looking in the toilet. Aww. She's freaking out. Larry!
Is that where we're going? It was not to be this time?
I'm freaking out. What is rainbow shitties?
But maybe when she calls home to her Nan, she's like, I'm not freaking telling Laramie that it went away because I still want him to rub my feet.
Went away.
I still want him to rub my feet, so I'm not going to spoil it for myself. It's going to be a good summer, getting back and shoulder rubs and rubbing my feet. Get him to go out for Haagen-Dazs. Laramie, where's the freaking coffee Haagen-Dazs? There was 2 spoonfuls left last night when I went to bed and it's gone. She wants to have it for breakfast.
And then the big relief after Laramie's like, where's those Pride bagels?
Hey, when you go out, will you get me some of the Magnums? The big chocolate ice cream bars, but don't get the little mini ones because I have to have 4 of them to count as one.
More Magnums with the caramel in between layers.
Oh, the Magnums are tight.
Magnums.
Summertime tight. Get me 2 boxes of Magnums and not them friggin' mini ones either.
Throw the nuts on them.
Give me the friggin' grown-up ones.
You know?
Is this 78?
Yeah.
Oh. Melodies number 10, Andre Dawson. Bill Gullickson.
This song is so fucking, so cheesy.
Les Expos de Montréal brought to you in part by Saint-Hubert Poulet. Saint-Hubert Chicken. Chicken for your mouth. Poulet pour ton bouche. Dude, 78.
This is brutal, right?
Let's let this one coast us to break.
No, it's
Episode 78 of TNT is just getting rolling. It's our Canada Day Spectacular. Don't freaking go anywhere!
back, will ya?
Well, all right, this is Wolfman Jack up in Regina. It's 1978. We're going to listen to this little song called Reminiscing by the Little River Band. Get your Friday night rolling. Oh, hold on a second now. Hang on a second here. And we got a call in here. Seems we gonna have to take a break here. Hold on a second. We got a guest tonight on my Wolfman Jack show. Little legend from Aurelia, Ontario, Gordon Lightfoot. How are you doing today, Gordon?
Hey, I'm good, thank you. Just to be clear, it's Wolfman Jet?
Yeah, that's Wolfman Jack.
Because I know there's a very
No, it's the
popular
pride.
DJ.
I know it's the pride of Regina.
There's a
Wolfman
DJ in the
Jack.
States called Wolfman Jack, and I've been on his show before.
I don't know that. I don't know who that is. But anyway, you're on tour and you've finally made it through the prairies. How are you?
Well, you know, Canada's like a vast quilt and tapestry of people and stories and places, and my manager Bernie has been kind enough to drive, and just looking out the window and recording thoughts in my head and jotting them down in my diary.
So what's it like now being so popular? I mean, you started out doing folk music in, I think it was in Toronto. Now you're a big star hanging out with people like Bob Dylan. What's life like for Gordon Lightfoot these days?
Well, Jet, you know, I have a tour bus, but that's for the crew, and I usually fly on a plane because that's just the way it is. And I'll probably be saying that same thing for another 40 years. But I'm on my second little wifey, and I think this one's really gonna stick.
That's good to see you're having a good time, Gordy. Hope you can keep it together for the rest of this tour. All right, now I'm gonna go to our next song. Thanks for coming on the show, though.
Can I just tell you one thing?
What's that?
There's a guy named Sundown, and that's what I call him anyway. And I think he's trying to get busy with my wife. So if something happens to me, I want you to start looking there, like on Dateline NBC.
No problem.
You guys don't play any Bruce Coburn, do you?
No, not tonight. It's your night, Gordy.
Thank you very much. It's great to see you.
Anyway, we're back to reminiscing by the Little River Band.
Another time and okay, another place.
Was that fun?
I love that Wolfman Jack has never heard of Wolfman Jack.
No.
Like, no, never heard of him. What do you mean?
And then he's also like, come on, man, you're wrecking my whole scene here. Hey, off the line with Gord.
He keeps hitting mute on his mic like, come on, man. Just that's my thing. Don't, you're harshing my mellow.
Everybody knows Wolfman Jack. Just give me a break.
Because some program director told Jat he needed to come up with a hook.
Yeah.
His name's
Because
maybe
before
Matt.
he was all talking like this, just being from Saskatoon, eh?
Yeah, but now he has a thing.
Now he's in the big cities trying a new thing in Regina.
78 jams.
Yeah, the 78 jams.
I can't believe we're almost at 1980. Where do we pass over the torch?
You said you're still not really feeling the early 80s, so maybe 83,
Okay.
84 will hand it to you.
Okay, maybe the
83.
baton is M plus M. Black stations, white stations, feet on the floor, get up and face the music. This is 1984. 1984 is when I take over.
Because, I mean, you could probably do 83. That's Thriller, even.
Oh, sure, I'll do 83.
I'm sure there's some Duran Duran on the radio at that point. I think you're free to go at 83.
Hey,
E.T. in the theaters.
we have some exciting news, and that is that Rat Piss Lager has agreed to sponsor the podcast.
Rat Piss Lager, our new sponsor.
It's sharp,
for the podcast.
But it's cold.
Oh, wow. It gets you where you need to go.
I can't wait to get some Rat Piss Lager merch going, and we can send some out to Bods.
I was telling Lisa that how funny I thought that was, and she just thought it was so just so gross that no one would ever find that funny. She's like, why don't you use rat back? I'm like, rat back is more gross than rat piss.
I think, okay, if we're being truthful, and I know that's what the bods have come to expect from us, I thought it was funny to start saying rat piss lager is something that sponsored us, and it doesn't actually exist. But my idea was, maybe if we say it enough times, some brewer bod will say, well, I'll make rat piss lager, and then we'll have TNT rat piss lager, and we can have the merch and sell that and everything.
I think that would be fantastic, although would anybody actually drink that?
Well,
Would
this
they?
is my feeling, like the micro
It's a little,
brews nowadays.
it's a little hoppy.
Yeah. The micro brews nowadays, though, people can call beer anything, and I don't know of anybody that's gone into a microbrewery that hasn't worked.
Yeah. How about Maple Leaf Tears beer?
Yeah. Beaver Ale.
Yeah.
Hey, what are you doing for Canada Day weekend, bud?
Lager.
Lager's lager is actually great.
Like lager.
Lager.
And it's just a guy burling on the label.
Why hasn't anyone done lager?
Think about how many beer companies use people burling on the beer label, like the Maudit, they're burling, right?
All right,
There's
Lisa
all kinds of
Taggart, you win. We're not doing rat piss lager. We're doing lager. And the slogan is just burling.
Yeah, and like when you really want to get into things, you're just smashing logs. You're like Joe.
How many logs did you saw last night, bud? I saw it about 10 logs. All I can think, because my fridge is humming so loud, is that Timbot's going to be like, dude, you guys need to re-record the whole thing. Should I try to find the plug and unplug it?
Sure. I don't hear it, but
you don't?
No, but I'm sure it's there. Loggerheads.
We're at Loggerheads.
We were at Loggerheads last night.
There, I unplugged it.
Nice.
How many logs did you saw?
Yeah.
Lager. Like, that's not even a good joke. That's actually a thing. That's a good idea.
Just have the guy burling on the logs.
What are you Peckers doing for the weekend?
We are going to Peterborough, the borough of Pete. To a bod's cottage.
Are you really?
Yeah.
How long are you going for?
I think we're going to do a 4-banger.
Are you really? How great is that?
Isn't that great?
Some s'mores, some campfires, some swimming.
Yeah.
Great.
It's just the kid. There's a zip line.
So fun.
Apparently Dan O'Toole's going to be around with the RV. He's coming in for the weekend. He's from there, so he's going to be around.
What do you mean? Toolsy has an RV?
Tim Oxford just happened to rent a cottage with Sarah this weekend up in Peterborough. Like, what is going on? The stars are aligning in Bodville.
So, Toolsy has an RV?
He's renting one for the long weekend. He's going to get his girls.
Like 1-800-GORVING?
I guess, right?
1-800-GORVING is the worst branding. And then they tried to make RV uppercase, so it's 1-800-GO-RVing. But I don't care who you are. It reads like Gorving.
Yeah, you want to go Gorvin?
Yeah, the first
Does that
few
mean
times
like
I
going
saw
to
it,
the Grand
like 1-800
anywhere?
Gorving.
Go Gorving.
Yeah, I'm taking the family Gorving for the weekend. We're going on a Gorving trip.
It's not glamping, it's Gorving.
I bet Gary Gugatami goes Gorving.
Oh, man. You know, that guy just keeps coming back. I think I say it once or twice a day because my kid and I will play the video games once in a while. And he'll throw out, "You gotta be kidding me," like every 5 minutes. And I'll be like, Gugatami, you mean? Gugatami.
Has Gugatami taken off in your house?
Yeah, and I'll say, I was like, Gugatami's in the fairway. He's got 237 yards.
You gotta be kidding me.
He's picking up a hybrid.
For those looking for an update, I'm now selling the fifth wheel. It's a 40-foot titanium. I'm selling it on commission at a local dealer.
Yeah, there you go.
Because I think that's the easier way to go. And we're taking the bus, which had some body work done to it. We're taking the bus out to my in-laws' cottage for the weekend.
Perfect.
Pretty tidy Canada Day weekend all in all.
Yeah, I like that.
Let's take a break on TNT Canada Day Spectacular, and we'll be back with more. Hold your bird spots.
Fucking ready. Hello, Jonathan.
This segment of Taggart and Torrens brought to you in part by Lager Light. All the lager you love with only half the calories.
Hey, Mitch, how long you off for this weekend?
Probably till Monday.
Well, you probably got time for a lager classic, don't you?
I'll saw a couple logs real quick, Bob.
Lager, and lager light.
That's
Or
the commercial.
lager.
Now for the makers of Lager Light comes Lager Dark. Like, how do they do that? They just keep coming up with new versions of it in different colors.
There's only, let's just go, there's three. There's lager, there's lager classic, and there's lager light.
What is Lager Classic?
It's like you missed the old one, so we're going back to the original recipe.
Even though they've only been in business for 3 months,
Yeah.
they
but
roll
it's
out
like,
the classic.
it goes back into the family. Because the two brothers, the guy who had the original recipes. Like,
My great-grandfather, John Lager, always wanted his lager. Oh my gosh.
So we're going to bring it back. Like lager classic.
Oh,
I love lager.
me too. Quit sawing logs, Trevor, and mow the grass.
Give me a lager light and I'll do something.
And they sell like a 2/4 called a cord.
Or how about like the one guy's like, I didn't work out today. Give me a lager light.
Okay, we're going to play a game in the proud tradition of Camp Itchy-Leggy. It's a summertime game. And it's called Camp Trustafunda. This one's called Lake or Fake.
Yeah.
We're going to give each other the name of a Canadian lake. And the other guy has to guess if it's real or fake.
Yes.
You
ready?
go first.
Okay, I'll go first with Molson Lake. Real or fake?
Molson Lake.
Yeah. Molson Lake. Real or fake?
Spelt like the beer.
Spelt exactly like the beer.
I have to go fake.
I have to tell you that it's real.
Molson Lake, where is that?
It's in Manitoba.
Crazy.
Molson Lake. Real lake.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lake Chachi.
Oh my god. Like Chachi. It's like, what is is this a real lake or is this just what everybody calls every toll booth person in the world?
Chachi.
Come on, Chachi, I ain't got all day. Give me some change.
Lake Chachi.
I'm gonna say that's a real lake for some reason.
It's fake.
Oh,
It's a fake lake.
It's a fake lake.
Lake Chachi.
Oh, man.
All right, what's my next one?
Okay, the Kabonga Reservoir.
Oh, reservoir.
The Kabonga Reservoir.
I have to go fake.
It's real.
Come on.
It's real in Quebec.
The Kabonga Reservoir?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, dude, the French guy telling his buddy he wants to go to the Kabonga this weekend.
So I'm 0 for 2.
You gotta do a French guy saying he's gotta get to the Kabonga Reservoir.
Bon, tu sais, je vais aller au réservoir du Kabonga. Je vais faire la natation au réservoir du Kabonga cette fin de semaine. C'est une journée au Canada, mais on célèbre ça ici.
My friends are going, how come I can't go?
I was thinking about Simple's plan because they are tour.
Yeah.
They are tour this summers.
They're doing the big
Sorry,
Canadian.
I can't be perfect. They're doing a big deal, and people are really excited about it.
they're finishing it up in Quebec.
Of course they are. Okay, you ready?
I am.
Shart Lake.
No. That's
Shart
a greasy.
Lake.
That's a greasy move, by the way. Taking a shit in the lake.
Oh, do you know someone that's done it?
Yes, man. I've been like
Come
swimming with buddies and like seeing one of them like, hey, check it out, and like
No.
like 3 logs fire up behind them. I'm like, that's
Come on.
a shit ski, man. No dice. You can't do that.
There's
So
begs
greasy.
so many questions.
Well, it's probably like the day 2 or 3 of like a big bender, right? So the guy's got the shits anyway.
Oh my god.
So greasy. Hey,
Do you know-
Hey, JT, hey, one of these. Hey, JT, and you look over and it's like behind them.
The thing that is most confounding is the ability to time it. Like, hey, look, and then it happens. How do they do that?
Well, you know it. I mean, pretty sure you know when it's coming. Like, it wasn't like, hey, look at this, like out of the blue. I think he was kind of
Like,
doing
hey,
it.
Jer. Hey, Jer.
Yeah.
Hey, Jer. Hey, Jer. That's so gross.
So bad.
That's such a gross
Like,
maneuver.
it's bad enough when the water gets warm around you and they give you the luck, right?
I guess. You make it sound like it happens all the time.
Well, I
Would you
remember
like
being
some
a
egg
kid
and
and my
beans?
brother or
Fuck
me,
off!
like, hey,
You're not
Jack,
my
and
mom!
then, like, it's all warm. When you're kids, you pee.
If crop dust is when folks are gaseous and you walk through it, there must be a term for when someone pees in the water.
Hey, I saw this, like, on Twitter, some like, camera that, like, it was a heat-sensing camera. And there's this dirt ball. It was at, like,
No.
a Subway or something. And you could just see all this fucking gas coming out of it, like his pants were even moving. Like one loose, super long fart. And it was like, he was just standing there like, who gives a shit?
And a heat camera picked up on it?
Yeah, like it was like, you didn't realize how like how awful a fart, really bad fart is. Like it, all of a sudden, like envelops the crowd like it's a fucking bomb. And he's just letting her rip. Like pants are actually fluttering, man.
What was that on Dateline?
No, it was on Twitter. Just like check this dirt ball out, and it was like a infrared or something camera that was picking up the heat, and it was just like billowing out of the guy.
Oh man!
But I don't know what if you ever wonder what a fart looks like, that's it. Oh, hey, Lake Shard, I'm gonna say that's fake.
Shart Lake.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shart Lake is fake.
Wow.
All right, hit me.
Okay. Peter Pond.
Peter Pond.
Peter Pond Lake.
I'm gonna say it's real.
It is.
Okay, good. I'm on the board.
Nice.
This one's French.
Okay.
Lac googly.
That's fake again. That's 3 fake ones for sure.
What?
Googly. That's 3 fake ones right there.
That's
3
what?
fakers. 3 fakers in a row.
Yeah, that's fake.
Yeah.
You're really good at this game. On your resume under special skills, you should put really good at lake or fake.
Okay, how about this one? Gary Lake.
The worst name ever. Gary Lake.
Gary Lake.
Named after Gary Gugotomy.
Gary Gugotomy's personal lake. When he's off tour and he's taking a break, he's like, oh, I just gotta get to Gary.
And gotta get to Gary is their ill-fated tourism slogan from a couple years back, and it didn't really catch on.
Gary Gugotomy's like, I shot 80 on Sunday or on Friday, so I could guarantee I'd miss the cut so I could get home to Gary Lake.
I think Gary Lake is so B-flat, it must be real.
Oh, it's real. It's in Nunavut.
Nice.
And the fact
Funny
that,
that we
it's up
went. We both went with kind of normal names because your
Yeah.
next one is Lake Daryl.
Oh,
Lake Daryl.
Daryl. I'm going to say that's real because it's got to be a Lake Daryl.
That's fake, bot.
Holy shit.
Made that one up.
So when you were looking up lakes, you just had a pen and paper and your head.
Yep.
How about this one? Okay, this one's French. Lac Soissis.
Soissis?
Yeah.
Like sausage?
Yeah.
Lac saucisse. There's
And the
no
guys,
way.
like, big tough guys, big red meat eating, beer, mud eat crushing dudes that live
Sausage
there.
Lake.
Yeah.
Let's grab a quart of lager and head up to Sausage Lake. See what happens.
No, it's in Quebec.
Lac saucisse. I'm gonna say that's fake.
Yeah, it's fake. Too bad. There's no like John Goodman looking masks getting in a car going up to Lake Soissis.
Loggers Lake.
Loggers Lake. There's got to be a lot of those. Are you got another one? Oh, that's
Yeah,
that's
it was Loggers Lake.
Oh, yeah, I believe that to be true. As much
That's
as
real.
It's
It's in BC.
Yeah. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Lake Winnipegosis.
That's real.
Yeah.
It sounds like a lake with a disease.
Yeah.
Peckerwood Lake.
And where Andrew goes in the summers.
Yeah. Holy frig, Laramie, take your shirt off before it melts right to you.
She's totally Andrea's the one like what gets in the bikini right away in front of everybody.
I got this monokini at Winners. Do you think it fits me right?
Just jumping in the algae water where people aren't even feeling it a bit, but she's all over it.
Oh,
Just-
come on. Yeah. Couple eels never hurt you.
What does
Look,
she
I grabbed
say?
one right by the tail.
What does she say when it's too cold? When she jumps in.
Well, she would say, cold as witch's tit. Laramie's cold as witch's tit, but then it's not too bad once you get in. It's not too bad once you get in is an elaborate ruse by people who go in to trick you into getting
just
into
want
freezing
you to-
cold water. It's
they
not
want
too
you
bad
to-
once you get in.
They want you to deal with the shit that they're going through. It's not too bad once you get in, but then, you know when it's really cold, when they're cold in the water, as opposed to like, you know what I mean? When they're
Yeah.
getting all blue and going, man, I'm cold after like 10 minutes.
It's not the freaking polar bear swim. Take 2 pulls of my lemon gin, get in the water, and quit being such a baby. Look at Laramie. It's a bird turtler. His bird disappeared. It's so cold.
She's way out there, just head bobbing,
Her tiny head floating on the horizon.
going under
Larry!
the water, doing dives and shit,
Laramie,
spinning
freaking
around.
come out here. Do the dog paddle with the waves to carry you right out.
Pulling on lily pads and shit.
She's probably never been swimming in a lake. She's probably a beach swimmer.
She sure is, right? Because she's used to the ocean.
Yeah.
Jellyfish bites.
You figures call these lakes beaches? Peckerwood Lake, real or fake?
I'm gonna say that's fake.
That's real.
Oh, wow.
But we'd
So
have
it's
to
a
go
li-
to the judges because it's in Arkansas. So it's not technically a Canadian lake. But I looked up Lake Pecker just to see if I could find something Andrea like.
Yeah.
And there's Lake Packer in Wyoming. But Peckerwood Lake was the only thing I could get with Pecker in it.
That's good.
So I get half
Nice.
a point for that.
No, that's not bad. I got no more. Unless you want me to make some up.
No, but I have a few more that I'll just tell you. Pickle
All right.
Lake is
What?
real. Pickle
What?
Lake.
Pickle Lake. Yeah, I've heard of Pickle Lake. Where is that? That's
God's
north.
Lake. Do you think God's Lake is real or fake?
That's real, yeah. I saw
That's
that
real
one.
in Manitoba.
Yep.
Lake Fanuff.
Wow, that's got to be fake.
That's fake.
Yeah.
Lake Pequachanameoskoskwaskwapenwenek.
That's got to be real.
It's real. And finally, Lake Titicaca.
Why does that sound so familiar? Is that real?
It's real. Lake
Yeah.
Titicaca is between Bolivia and Peru.
Yeah, that somehow registered on my head because it sounds like a good gag.
Lake Titicaca.
Yeah.
So if we're being honest with the people, it's Canada Day now. It's Friday. And I just got back from the Bible Hill, Nova Scotia Canada Day parade. All I'm saying, bud, is that it's a good thing I had on sunglasses because I find it so moving to see tiny horses pulling little carts, and the bagpipes always make me cry anyway, and senior citizen quilters on the back of their church float.
Nice.
It's a real small town deal.
That is a good one. See, we're piecing everything together to get in the car for the old road trip into the cottage.
It's the best.
Yeah.
Do you know, of all the things I'm proud of when it comes to my girls, it's a little thing, but one of the things that makes me enormously proud as a parent is that they'll wave back to anyone who waves to them. So all parade long, I look over and they're waving back at every dog and fireman and Shriner. Do you think the Shriners fight over who gets to drive the little cars?
For sure. I bet you it's by like some kind of hierarchy leadership role.
Yeah, because that's got to be the seniority post.
Fucking come on, man. My back's killing me. I've walked for fucking all day.
And he's like, he won't get the ride, though?
Well, your back probably hurts driving them little maps, doesn't it?
No, but imagine he's trying to get on the little map so he doesn't have the big pain in the ass.
Just Tony.
Hey, look at you, Gary. You get to cruise the whole day.
All mad?
Gary Lake.
Gary Lake's cruising.
If
What's
you're a
Gary
Shriner,
saying? How's Gary's all like total greasy?
Yeah. Gary Lake is the place where a person took a poo. Gary's
Lake,
the guy who's trying to grease a ride.
Gary Lake ran in front of Jerry, the other guy who's not liking him, to get in there. And he's like to sign in at the Legion or whatever it was. So he hangs that over his head. He's like, I've been a member longer than you. Even though he like pushed him down to get in.
Oh my gosh.
Like 45 years ago.
There is, oh my gosh. I just Googled the name Gary Lake to see how many Gary Lakes there are. There are a lot of them.
Sure.
Including a former association football player who played with New Zealand internationally.
Yep.
There are at least 10 Gary Lake profiles on LinkedIn. I guess it's a pretty common name.
Oh, Gary Lake, yep.
But the pictures of these Gary Lakes, they look greasy.
They all look like Gary Lake.
Yeah, they really do.
Can't you just see him on the little riding that thing all day?
Dr. Gary Lake, Tuscaloosa,
And
Alabama.
Cruising it around like to try and pick up ladies. Going to Menchie's on the scooter with the Shriner's garb.
Yep,
Or
lead Shriner again.
Gary Lake is the guy that would say, hop in for a second, Pat. Your back's probably killing you. And then peel away in the little car just when you walked over to get in. Like the worst pranks ever. Oh, can you take a turn, bud? See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya.
And he always goes to Menchie's.
What is Menchie's?
It's a fancy frozen yogurt place that like you put all the candy on the top and
Where it's $8.50 for a small?
Yes, like there is no small. That's the other thing. There's only like these tub sizes. There's only like tub and then super tub and then jacuzzi size.
But you pay alien. Jacuzzi size.
Oh, totally. Sorry, yeah. My kids all asked for alien size yesterday, like without even like it's
for ice cream.
Yeah.
You pay by the weight though, right? At Menchie's, you pay like you just put your empty your full bowl on the thing, and then you pay.
to get like one of those things under $5, you have to like let it squirt for 2 seconds and then like put, you know, a Mike and Ike on there and you're all set.
Let me tell you something, though. My default is always gummy worms and gummy bears because I like the maths. But once you put them on ice cream, they freeze and they get hard.
Yeah, that's not good.
Plus, they're probably really heavy, and that might put you over the $7 scale. Sometimes
chocolate will just turn to wax taste when it gets cold.
Gross.
But then when you're in there, like they have the tester things, and I'll fucking tell you what, I'll crush 5 or 6 of those and not get one.
It's not fair.
Because I'm getting the kids the Menchies, and I will test the fuck out of those things, and then to the point where they don't even put them out anymore.
I think the move is to go with a vanilla base, because if you go with like a tangerine base and then you're putting a bunch of candy on it, I think your frozen yogurt should be like your backdrop, your canvas, and then you paint it with candy. But I don't think you start with a crazy colored canvas, because then the tastes just get too weird.
But what do you think Gary Lake gets when he goes to Menchie's?
Gary Lake gets like pomegranate and
no, he gets because you can get the swirl. So he'll get the cookies and cream.
Gary Lake's got the swirls.
And what does he fire on the top? Score bits?
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was gonna say score bits. Gary Lake,
you can't
that
even
greasy
see,
bastard.
You can't even see the frozen yogurt anymore for the score bits.
Hey Jer, look. Hey Jer. Hey Jer. Hey Jer. Gary, I'm just trying to. Hey Jer.
He's the guy shitting in the lake too.
Brutal. Yeah, he's the worst. Let's take a break on TNT 78. Our Canada Day Spectacular will continue in a moment.
Tidy's calling you Studley.
We're back.
What if Gary Lake lives in Andrea and Laramie's building? He might even be their landlord. And he's drives a Chrysler Sebring convertible, and he's really proud of it. And he's super old, yeah. And maybe he worked at Lager his whole life, and he's retired now.
And he's the Lager Classic, like it's going, or else his company's not gonna happen.
Gary Lake. And he's kind of like tanned and kind of happening, but his greasiness cancels out. Like if you saw a still photograph of Gary Lake, you'd think kind of salt and pepper, like pretty pulled together, but he's so greasy. Like he's the come see us to your wife guy. Come here, see us for a second. Come see us for a second.
Yeah, for sure.
Trying to get folks to sit on his lap and stuff.
He's the guy who like pinches your kids and like puts their arm behind their back and shit.
No hug for us? Where's my hug? He's that guy.
Saying I got money, but then like almost breaks their fingers in some hole that he learned in Second World War.
Like, there's a Werther's hidden on my body, and if you can find it, you can have it. Gary Lake.
He's doing holds that he learned when he was a warden in a prison.
And the kids' faces are turning red because Gary Lake won't let go.
He's making the big sicko face.
The kids are trying to tap out, but Gary's too busy chatting to notice. Get over here, bot. Where's my hug?
In the Second World War, he's I'll be me and you be the guy. Then be a hey Jer.
Hey Jer. Hey Jer. Hey Jer.
And he shows them his whites all in the war, and they're all burned. They have all iron marks in them, all burnt up. Hey Jer, all your clothes are all fucked.
Gary Lake.
In the middle of the night, he just burned iron to like put fucking iron marks all over his war gear.
Like Mr. Prank, but no judgment.
Hey Jerry, you ready? Here's your fatigues. Throws them on him.
Like he'd snap you in the pecker with a wet towel. That Gary Lake would snap you in the pecker with a wet towel.
Total, just the biggest prick ever, but he's like 1,000 years old too.
And he's giving you, like, puts you in a headlock and giving you noogies. Get over here, Laramie.
Yeah, no friends. Everyone hates him.
You want to go for the ride in the Sebring? No thanks. Get in here. Where's my hug? Okay.
He's firing all the like candy at Menchie's in his pockets.
There's a gummy worm in one of my pockets, kid.
And he starts going off about saving the country if the kid says something to him.
About how they don't understand sacrifice.
Yeah, he grabs the kid and like puts his head on the counter and pushes on it hard.
But his dates are a little fudged. Like, he talks about being overseas, like in the 70s. So how long were you over there? Oh, I don't know. Might have been around 4 years. Might have been 6 months. Doesn't matter. He gets irritable when you press him on details.
Yeah, like at bowling, if someone starts chirping him about dates, he throws a 10-pin ball at the guy in the stomach. That didn't happen. That was 1958. Whoa! He throws it in the guts.
Gary Lake is maybe the breakout star of Andrea now. And Laramie's like, I can't stand him. And Andrea's like, he's not too bad. He just reminds me of my uncle from home.
He always puts him in like arm locks and shit.
Puts Laramie in arm locks.
He thinks
he's
because
soft.
It's so funny because he's just so skinny and easy to throw around. He treats him like a little kid.
Gary Lake. For some reason, I see him as part Mr. Roper. Like part Mr. Roper and kind of part Kenny Rogers. But I think he, like, again, I think in a picture he kind of looks handsome, but he's probably not fresh, as Carol would say.
Just the true idea of weathered.
Well, he's a lake pooper.
Yeah, he's been around.
That's kind of all you need to know about somebody. Hey, Jack!
And then throughout his whole life.
And he wants Laramie to come to the cabin with him. Come to the cabin with me. We'll spend a bit of guy time together.
Oh, man.
And Andrew's like, freaking go! I could use some space from you anyways.
At dinner, he's sitting there, and there's like a heart on his plate only. A heart from like a deer.
Still pumping.
And he's like, hey, Laramie, you're eating that.
And he's not breaking eye contact with Laramie while taking bites of the heart. Just put it in your mouth. Roll it around your tongue.
That's all you got. One of those.
I don't think Gary Lake wants to do it with Laramie.
Mm-mm.
I think he's just the kind of guy that has no friends.
And fucks with everyone all the time.
Yeah.
Like wakes him up with ice cold water on the face.
Only friggin' with you.
Yeah. Yeah. Get it together.
I don't think Gary Lake lives on the premises, though. I think he just stops by in the Sebring.
Or, like, just shows up through the window.
Just checking on you. And he probably has the top down in the Sebring. Like, the Sebring might not even have a top anymore. So, even in May, he's got the top down.
Oh, man. He
Turn the heat up. That won't hurt you.
Shows up in the middle if anyone's having sex and smacks him on the ass.
Like, how'd you get in there? Is he the crunch, crunch, crunch guy?
I don't know if he's just too hardcore. I don't know, maybe. He would probably crunch it up a bit. How about...
And he also takes... They have empty bottles of lager sitting by their front door, and he takes them. Returns them for money.
Nice. No, he's I think Crunch is a little too business for him.
He's Larry from Three's Company, and this guy's Mr. Roper.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, bud, have a great trip with the fam.
You too, and happy Canada Day, bods.
Happy Canada Day. You know, it's not to sound too precious, but if I don't remember every other day of the year, man, I'm reminded on this day of the year what an unbelievable country this is. It's so vast and beautiful and welcoming and safe. and we really are lucky to live here. Thanks for listening, buds.
Hey, hope everybody, maybe a couple people out there got those burning firehouses going this weekend. You know, the little ones and those snakes that just sizzle on the ground. Those are the best moves.
What are they?
You know those little buttons that you light and they just get longer into snakes?
I thought by snakes that sizzle on the ground, I thought you were talking about poo again.
Hey, Jer.
Hey, Jer. Hey, Jer. Happy Canada Day, Jer. Over here.
Canada Day.
Boom gang gang go ding gang, ju boom bounce, do de boom bam bam ticka doom down.